Unit 7.1. The Dying Detective. Glossary. Gaunt. Lean, especially because of suffering, hunger or age. Twitched. Give short, sudden jerking movements. Contagious. Spreading of a disease from one person to another by direct contact. Groan. Make a deep inarticulate sound conveying pain or despair. Plague. A contagious bacterial disease characterized by fever. Bolted. Closed the door with a bar that slides into a socket. Mantelpiece. A structure of wood or marble above or around the fireplace. Half crown. A former British coin equal to 2 shillings and sixpence 12.5p. Tongs. A device used for picking up objects consisting of 2 long pieces free at one end and pressed together at the other end. Delirious. Disturbed state of mind characterized by restlessness. Frail. Weak and delicate, startled. Felt sudden shock or alarm. Scuffle. To have a sudden short fight. A. Answer the following questions in 1 or 2 sentences. 1. Who was Mrs. Hudson? Why was she worried? Mrs. Hudson was the landlady of Holmes, and she was worried over the illness of Holmes. 2. Why didn't Holmes let Watson examine him? Holmes did not allow Watson because Holmes was not really ill. 3. Why did Holmes warn Watson against touching his things? What was Watson's reaction? Holmes said the disease was a contagious one. Watson was totally dejected. 4. What did Watson find on the table neath the mantelpiece? Watson saw a small black and white ivory box near the mantelpiece. 5. Who is Mr. Culverton Smith? Mr. Culverton Smith is a planter. In this story he is the villain. 6. What did Holmes ask Watson to do before leaving his room? Holmes asked Watson to wait for some time. 7. What instructions did Holmes give Watson to get Mr. Sonnet? Holmes told Watson to persuade Smith to come because he was in his deathbed, and that Watson had to return before Smith arrived to see Holmes. 8. Why did Holmes want Smith to treat him? Holmes wanted Smith because he is the man who knew better about the disease. Then another reason was he wanted to arrest Smith for a murder. 9. How did, according to Smith, Holmes get the disease? Holmes got the disease from the Chinese sailors. 10. Who arrested Smith? What were the charges against him? Inspector Morton arrested Smith. He was arrested because he only had murdered his nephew Victor, and had planned to kill Holmes in the same manner. C. Answer the following questions in a paragraph of about 100 to 150 words. 1. How did Holmes trap Mr. Culverton Smith to confess the murder? Holmes, a detective, lived in the house of a landlady, Mrs. Hudson. He acted as though he were ill with a contagious disease. He sent for Smith, the planter who knew more about the disease. Holmes told Smith he was the one who could cure him. Then we talked about a man named Victor who died because of the same disease. Holmes told Smith that he was the person who killed Victor. Then Smith, in a bit of anger, said that there was no evidence to prove it. Smith asked Holmes whether he had received a box. Then Holmes said, yes, and Smith confessed that he had sent the box to kill Holmes, who knew more about the death of Victor, too. How did Watson help his friend to arrest the criminal? Watson, the assistant of the detective Holmes, was really sad over the delirious stare of Holmes. Being driven with loyalty, he went to meet Smith, who would cure Holmes' illness, or rather deadly the disease. In the beginning, Smith refused to meet him, but Watson pleaded him that his friend was terribly ill. He told Smith that he was the only person who could cure Holmes. Thereby he brought Smith to visit Sherlock Holmes. Watson really did not know the intention of Holmes. In addition, he did not know whether Holmes was really fluid or not. Further, Watson was asked to stay in the next room. Watson overheard everything, and then after the arrival of the Inspector Morton there was a scuffle. Smith got arrested. Vocabulary. C. Complete the following sentences by choosing the correct options given. Nitish bought a new cricket bat. The shepherd heard the cry of his sheep. Lakshmi completed her baking course successfully. Priya has broken her forelimbs. Leaders of the world must work towards the peace of human race. D. Complete the tabular column by finding the meaning of both the words given in the boxes. Use them in sentences of your own. Pocket. A small bag sewn into or on clothing to carry small things. Packet. A paper or cardboard container, typically one in which goods are sold. Santa filled his pocket with candies. Maheshwari carried a packet of ribbons. Fond. Having an affection or liking for. Found. Having been discovered by chance or unexpectedly. Puppies are fond of soft balls. Rosalind found a 100 rupees note on her way back home. Lost. Last. I have lost my wallet. I have to catch the last train. Paused. Past. The speech was paused for a while. The bill has been passed in the parliament. Picture. Picture. The pitcher has set up a tent. The picture is drawn by an artist. A. Listen to the story and answer the questions given below. 1. Where does the story take place? Answer. In M's Gervis apartment. 2. Near the beginning of the story, M's Gervis eyes are full of tears. Her hands are shaking. How does M's Gervis probably feel? Answer. She is confused. 3. What makes the detective sure that the robber did not come through the windows? Answer. The windows are locked. 4. What else was stolen from the apartment? Answer. Nothing. 5. And the robber definitely did not use the front door. Which is the best way to rewrite this sentence? Answer. And the robber certainly did not use the front door. 6. What does M's Gervis do with her cakes? Answer. She gives them away. 7. What does the detective seem to think will happen if he solves the mystery? Answer. M's Gervis will start baking cakes again. F. Match the following. A man of ease. Emmanuel John's trainer. Lily and Lolly Matthews' secretary. John Matthew John's chef. Louise Matthews' friends. Busk your answer. 1C, 2E, 3D, 4A, 5BG. State whether the given statements are true or false. If false, correct the statements. 1. Matthew is a very busy man. Answer. True. 2. He woke up very late in the morning. Answer. True. 3. He always had lunch with his family. Answer. False. He had his lunch with his friends. 4. He exercised with Louise every day. Answer. False. He exercised with Buskya. 5. He preferred handling mail by himself. Answer. True. Grammar. A. Transform the following sentences as instructed. 1. On seeing the teacher, the children stood up. Into complex. When the children saw the teacher, they stood up. 2. At the age of 6, Varsha started learning music. Into complex. When Varsha was 6, she started learning music. 3. As Varun is a voracious reader, he buys a lot of books. Into simple. Being a voracious reader, Varun buys a lot of books. 4. Walk carefully lest you will fall down. Into complex. If you don't walk carefully, you will fall down. 5. Besides being a dancer, she is a singer. Into compound. She is not only a dancer but also a singer. 6. He is sick but he attends the rehearsal. Into simple. In spite of his sickness, he attends the rehearsal. 7. If Meena reads more, she will become proficient in the language. Into compound. Meena should read more or she will not become proficient in the language. 8. He confessed that he was guilty. Into simple. He confessed his guilt. 9. The boy could not attend the special classes due to his mother's illness. Into compound. The boy's mother was ill and so he could not attend the special classes. 10. He followed my suggestion. Into complex. He followed what I had suggested. B. Combine the pairs of sentences below into simple, complex and compound. 1. Radha was ill. She was not hospitalized. In spite of her illness, Radha was not hospitalized. Simple. Though Radha was ill, she was not hospitalized. Complex. Radha was ill but she was not hospitalized. Compound. 2. The students were intelligent. They could answer the questions correctly. Being intelligent, the students could answer correctly. Simple. Since the students were intelligent, they could answer the question correctly. Complex. The students were intelligent and so they could answer correctly. 3. Compound. 3. I must get a visa. I can travel abroad. I must get a visa to travel abroad. Simple. Unless I get a visa, I cannot travel abroad. Complex. I must get a visa or I cannot travel abroad. Compound. 4. I saw a tiger. It was wounded. I saw a wounded tiger. Simple. I saw a tiger which was wounded. Complex. I saw the tiger and it was wounded. Compound. 5. There was a bandh. The shops remained closed. In the event of a bandh, the shops remain closed. Simple. The shops remain closed because there was a bandh. Complex. There was a bandh and so the shops remain closed. Compound. Unit 7.2. The house on Elm Street. A. Read the given lines and answer the questions given below. 1. It sat alone. What happened there is still today unknown. It is a very mysterious place. And inside you can tell it has a ton of space. But at the same time it is bare to the bone. A. What does it refer to? Dot. It refers to the house. B. Pick out the line that indicates the size of the house. And inside you can tell it has a ton of space. 2. I drive past the house almost every day. The house seems to be a bit brighter. On this warm summer day in May. It plays with your mind. A. To whom does I refer to? L refers to the poet or the narrator. B. Pick out the alliterated words in the second line. The words are bit, brighter. 3. It never grows leaves, not in the winter, spring, summer or fall. It just sits there never getting smaller ever growing tall. A. What does it refer to? It refers to the tree. B. In what way the tree is a mystery. Usually a tree has leaves but this tree is without leaves in all the season, further it doesn't grow. 4. Rumors are constantly being made. And each day the house just begins to fade. Dot. What happened inside that house? A. Does the house remain the same every day? One is not sure about it. It is told that the house gets faded every day. B. How does the poet consider the house to be a mystery? The poet considers the house to be a mystery because nobody knows the happening inside that house. 5. What happened inside that house? I really don't know. I guess it will always be a mystery. A. Does the poet know what happened in the house? The poet doesn't know what happened in the house, her very words are. I really don't know. B. What is the mystery about the house? There is no sign of life inside the house. That is mysterious about the house. B. Answer the following in a paragraph. 1. Where is the house located? Why is it a mysterious place? Nadia Bush, the poetess, writes this poem in an imaginative mood. She says there is a house on Elm Street. It suddenly turns alive at night. The lights flicker off and on. Then in the daytime it is brightened. It is told that the house disappears gradually. The poetess says she doesn't know anything about it. She thinks it is always a mystery to her. Totally by looking at the house, its location, the happenings inside the house, the people's view about it makes a real mystery. 2. How is the mystery depicted in the poem? The poetess begins the poem with the line, "They sat alone." This very line itself depicts a mystery. Then she goes to say, what happened there is till today unknown. The lines quoted above reflects mystery. The poetess adds that there is no possibility of any living being there. It is reflected in the line, but at the same time it is bare to the bone. In the house, the lights flicker on and off. Seeing the conditions there, the poetess says the house is shrouded with mystery. She is reluctant to go near it. Adding to these, there is a tree without leaves, not getting small or growing tall. The people nearby say the house is fading away. By reading this poem, the reader is also in the same view as the poetess. How could this be? Unit 7.3. A dilemma. Glossary. Ingenious. Clever, original and inventive. Mania. An extensive, persistent desire, an obsession. Malicious. Spiteful, intended to harm or upset someone. Queer. Strange, odd. Appalled. Horrified, shocked. Oddity. The quality being strange or peculiar. Closet. Cupboard. Incredible. Impossible to believe. Contrive. Cook up, hatch a plan by deliberate use of skills. Despotic. Tyrannical, autocratic. Avarice. Extreme greed for wealth. Jest. A joke. Vivisection. A surgery conducted on a living organism for experimental purposes. A. Read the given lines carefully and identify the character. Or. Speaker 1. I suppose you think me queer. I will explain. Uncle Philip 2. Don't come back. It won't hasten things. Uncle Philip 3. He thought it simply a cruel jest. Father Confessor 4. He did not desire to do so. Professor Clinch 5. He would think it over and come back later. The Collector. B. Answer the following questions in 1 or 2 sentences. 1. What did the uncle do as soon as he bought a stone? He would put it in his pocket and look at it. 2. What did the uncle bequeath to the narrator? The uncle bequeathed an iron box heavy and strong to the narrator. 3. What was the condition laid by the uncle to inherit his property? The condition laid by the uncle was Tom should pay for his funeral. 4. Why do you think Tom happily looked forward to the expenditure for his uncle's funeral? Tom was happy because he would inherit his uncle's property, i.e., box full of rubies and pearls. 5. Write a few words about the mechanism used in the iron box. If one unlocks the box, it will explode. 6. What was the counsel offered to the narrator? The counsel offered to the narrator was not to think about opening the box. 7. Why and when was the narrator shocked? The first time when he read the letter in the iron box that if he tried to unlock the box, it would explode. The second one, when his would-be wife, Susan, parted with her engagement to him, saying he is a crack like his uncle. 8. What was the doctor's warning to Tom? The doctor's warning to Tom was that he would end in the danger of losing his mind thinking too much about rubies and pearls. 9. Why didn't Tom dare to assign the task of unlocking the box to someone? Tom thought that they would carry away the rubies, so he didn't dare to assign the task of unlocking the box to anyone. C. Answer the following questions in a paragraph of about 100 to 150 words. 1. Describe briefly the contents of the letter written by Tom's uncle. Silas Weir Mitchell in his A Dilemma talks about Tom who receives a property from his uncle Philip. It is nothing but an iron box. The uncle tells him to read the letter before unlocking the box. The letter read that this box contained a large number of rubies and diamonds. In addition, a necklace of blue pearl was there. This was given to Tom only to remember his uncle. Another surprise to Tom is if he unlocks the box, it will explode because there is dynamite attached to it. Uncle Philip finally says that as a man of consideration, he says Tom to take much care in handling the box. 2. Explain the efforts taken by Tom to open the iron box. Did he succeed? Why? Tom, the narrator, was received by Bis Uncle Philip on his deathbed. He said he wanted to bequeath his property to Tom. It was nothing but an iron box. He laid the condition that Tom had to pay for his funeral. As the uncle passed away, Tom took the box home. In that he read the letter which said the box contained pearls and dynamites that would explode. Tom, in a dilemma, set it down with care in a closet, laid the key on it and locked the closet. He thought of many ways to open it without being killed. But he couldn't find a way. He thought that somebody would carry away the box and it might explode. At times the moving vehicles may cause the explosion. He consulted Professor Clinch and the professor said that Tom's uncle was a liar. Uncle's Dr. Shaft said not to indulge in unnecessary thinking about rubies. It would spoil his health. Tom was in a high dilemma whether to be happy over rubies or to be sad over dynamites. He even changed his lodging, name and occupation. He approached the government but to no avail. Finally, he made a will to send the rubies and pearls to the Society for the Preservation of Human Vivisection, so automatically the asset went to the government and he had not opened the box. D. Fill in the blanks with the right option and write down the summary of the story, A Dilemma. 1. The narrator was sent for by his uncle when he was on his deathbed. On his deathbed, or on his travels, or in his workplace. 2. The uncle had collected precious stones, jewels, or stones, or articles. 3. His uncle announced Tom as his heir and wanted him to pay for his funeral. Rented house, or marriage, or funeral. 4. Leaving an iron box for Tom, his uncle instructed him not to shake the box. Throw, or carry, or shake. 5. The letter read that the box contained a sensitive dynamite. A sensitive dynamite, or jewels, or money. 6. He started thinking of all possible ways to open the box without being killed, wounded, or killed, or maimed. 7. He planned to explode the box a safe distance at but dropped the plan in fear of losing the rubies. Home, or a safe distance, or a wasteland. 8. His consultation with Professor Clinch did not yield him any fruitful solution. Uncle Philip, or Professor Clinch, or Susan. 9. He failed in his attempts to open the box. His efforts to read about explosives led to confusions, hopes, or confusions, or suspicions, and he had to change his lodgings, name and occupation, or lodgings, or appearance. 10. At last, he bequeathed the box to the society. His offspring, or his friends, or the society.